Chapter 87. Whoosh! Gu Hai's face was like a huge earthquake, causing a huge commotion among the 10,000 cultivators in the surroundings. Even from far away and despite the heavy rain, the Great Feng Mafia family still clamored. Many of the cultivators in the VIP area did not come. However, when they heard the commotion, they all came out of their residences. "Senior brother, quick! Come quickly! We found Gu Hai! Master, quickly come to the beast arena! It's Gu Hai! Gu Hai!" After a series of shouts, the sound of the door opening could be heard. Nearly all the cultivators in the VIP area rushed to the beast arena without asking what was going on. At the beast arena, Montez stood in a corner while hugging Feng Ling. He goggled at the commotion in the surroundings. This uproar was like a huge explosion, exploding in all directions. What's going on? What did Gu Hai do to incur the wrath of the heavens? Why is everyone looking at him with bloodshot eyes? Chen Tianshan and Gao Xianji revealed bitter smiles. However, the other 3,000-odd evil men appeared confused. Is Milord's face really that exaggerated? Why did this group of people, who were as quiet as quails earlier, suddenly go berserk? Not only was there a commotion, but many cultivators also rushed over. They all drew their weapons and looked at Gu Hai with bloodshot eyes. More people arrived. It's really Gu Hai. A red-clad man who just came over from the VIP area wanted to step forward. "Don't! Master, wait!" Another person immediately pulled him back. "What are you waiting for? Gu Hai is just an innate realm cultivator. Can he run?" The red-clad man said while glaring. "No, Master, you were not here earlier. That Gu Hai just killed a Yuanying state cultivator. Perhaps he is not dead yet." The red-clad man immediately stopped after taking a step forward. Then, he looked at his disciple in disbelief. "What nonsense are you spouting? He is just an innate realm cultivator, and he killed a Yuanying state cultivator? It's true. Many people saw it. If you don't believe me, ask junior brother." Many people surrounded them, but at the same time, many people had fear in their eyes. Gu Hai was truly too ferocious earlier. The brutality of the villains was still vivid in his mind. If he were to charge at that group of thugs, wouldn't that be? Even though many people were afraid, there were still many people who gathered around. At this moment, the 3,000 evil men quickly surrounded Gu Hai. They all showed ferocious expressions as they looked at the people charging over from all directions. The 3,000 evil men did not care about the evil intentions of others. Right now they were filled with all sorts of emotions. Their loyalty to Gu Hai had already reached a new height. Now, if someone wanted to harm Gu Hai, that person would be their enemy. Walalala! They all raised their blades and pointed at the Xiuzha coming from all directions. As Gu Hai stood in the center of the evil men, he looked around and revealed a cold smile at all the people who targeted him. Things were different now. He was no longer the Gu Hai who only knew how to run away a few months ago. "Gu Hai, is the century lifespan immortality peach still with you?" a cultivator shouted. With this shout, all the cultivators stopped and waited for Gu Hai's reply. The cultivators at the very front showed complicated expressions. As they looked at the ferocious evil men, they actually hoped that Gu Hai would answer that the century lifespan immortality peach was gone. If they could avoid fighting, they would do their best to avoid fighting. However, Gu Hai smiled coldly and said, "The century lifespan immortality peach? It is still with me." Huh. The expressions of the surrounding cultivators changed. "You want it? Come and get it yourselves. Let's see if you are capable of doing so," Gu Hai said coldly. As Gu Hai spoke, he flipped his hand and took out a jade box from the space in his small authority token. Then he opened the jade box before everyone, revealing a dazzling golden immortality peach. When everyone saw the immortality peach, they held their breaths. On one hand, they were excited to see the immortality peach. On the other hand, they were shocked by Gu Hai's actions. What is Gu Hai doing? If you say that you ate the immortality peach, we might not charge anymore. Gu Hai stared coldly at everyone. He did not reveal the century lifespan immortality peach because he liked to show off. After all, Gu Hai was already past that age. He had his own reasons for revealing the immortality peach. Everyone attacked together. It belongs to whoever snatches it. Attack! Boom! A large group of cultivators charged at Gu Hai. Gu Hai showed a cold gaze as he stood where he was, not moving. He did not need to move. When the cultivators charged over, the 3,000-odd evil men immediately unleashed their ferocious nature. Roar! The 3,000-odd evil men roared as they charged over. Rumble! In the blink of an eye, the two sides started fighting. The evil men's combat prowess allowed them to fight against 10 strong cultivators each. When they fought, they were extremely ferocious. In one move, they knocked hundreds of cultivators into the air, vomiting blood as they fell to the ground. Oh, my arm! Cruel villain! Rumble! In just one round, hundreds of cultivators fell to the ground, howling in agony. The first person to shout, "Charge!" had his 4 limbs grabbed by the 4 evil men. With a ferocious tug, the evil men tore him into pieces, spraying blood everywhere. Gasp! The many cultivators in the surroundings who wanted to charge paused slightly. They all showed horror as they watched the battle before them. This was too ferocious. Of course, many more people did not have any intention of joining the battle. They only watched the battle, waiting for an opportunity to make a move. The battle suddenly stopped. The surroundings fell silent, except for the sound of rain and sweat. Gu Hai smiled coldly. Clack! Gu Hai closed the jade box. The sound of him closing the jade box sounded like he was mocking all the people charging over. Gu Hai swept his gaze over all the cultivators. Under his gaze, many cultivators did not dare to meet Gu Hai's gaze. Some with weaker mental fortitude even took a step back. It looks like you will not be able to take it away today, Gu Hai said with a cold smile. With a flip of his hand, he placed the jade box into the compressed space in his authority token. Countless cultivators stared at Gu Hai with complicated expressions. They all showed complicated expressions. After taking a deep breath, Gu Hai suddenly said loudly, "From now on, we will take over the Great Feng Mafia family. In 3 days, the Great Feng Mafia family's beast arena will be open to everyone again. Those who want to gamble, prepare to bet." Huh. If they could avoid fighting, they would do their best to avoid fighting. However, Gu Hai smiled coldly and said, "The century lifespan immortality peach? It is still with me." Huh. The expressions of the surrounding cultivators changed. You want it? Come and get it yourselves. Let's see if you are capable of doing so, Gu Hai said coldly. As Gu Hai spoke, he flipped his hand and took out a jade box from the space in his small authority token. Then he opened the jade box before everyone, revealing a dazzling golden immortality peach. When everyone saw the immortality peach, they held their breaths. On one hand, they were excited to see the immortality peach. On the other hand, they were shocked by Gu Hai's actions. What is Gu Hai doing? If you say that you ate the immortality peach, we might not charge anymore. Gu Hai stared coldly at everyone. He did not reveal the century lifespan immortality peach because he liked to show off. After all, Gu Hai was already past that age. He had his own reasons for revealing the immortality peach. Everyone attack together. It belongs to whoever snatches it. Attack. Boom. A large group of cultivators charged at Gu Hai. Gu Hai showed a cold gaze as he stood where he was, not moving. He did not need to move. When the cultivators charged over, the 3,000-odd evil men immediately unleashed their ferocious nature. Roar! The 3,000-odd evil men roared as they charged over. Rumble! In the blink of an eye, the two sides started fighting. The evil men's combat prowess allowed them to fight against 10 strong cultivators each. When they fought, they were extremely ferocious. In one move, they knocked hundreds of cultivators into the air, vomiting blood as they fell to the ground. Oh, my arm! Cruel villain! Rumble! In just one round, hundreds of cultivators fell to the ground, howling in agony. The first person to shout, "Charge!" had his 4 limbs grabbed by the 4 evil men. With a ferocious tug, the evil men tore him into pieces, spraying blood everywhere. Gasp! The many cultivators in the surroundings who wanted to charge paused slightly. They all showed horror as they watched the battle before them. This was too ferocious. Of course, many more people did not have any intention of joining the battle. They only watched the battle, waiting for an opportunity to make a move. The battle suddenly stopped. The surroundings fell silent, except for the sound of rain and sweat. Gu Hai smiled coldly. Clack. Gu Hai closed the jade box. The sound of him closing the jade box sounded like he was mocking all the people charging over. Gu Hai swept his gaze over all the cultivators. Under his gaze, many cultivators did not dare to meet Gu Hai's gaze. Some with weaker mental fortitude even took a step back. It looks like you will not be able to take it away today, Gu Hai said with a cold smile. With a flip of his hand, he placed the jade box into the compressed space in his authority token. Countless cultivators stared at Gu Hai with complicated expressions. They all showed complicated expressions. After taking a deep breath, Gu Hai suddenly said loudly, "From now on, we will take over the Great Feng Mafia family. In 3 days, the Great Feng Mafia family's beast arena will be open to everyone again. Those who want to gamble, prepare to bet." Huh. At the same time, some cultivators rushed around to spread news of Gu Hai's presence. When evening fell, the 4 legates gathered at Gu Hai's place again. This was the palace where Li Wei used to live, the Dragon Tortoise Palace. A group of evil men stood guard outside the Dragon Tortoise Palace. Gu Hai stared at Gao Xianji. "My lord, the confiscated items are in the palace at the side. This is Li Wei's treasure trove. This subordinate already found the mechanism," Gao Xianji said excitedly. "Oh! Crack! 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 Crack!" Gao Xianji activated the mechanism of the Dragon Tortoise Palace, and a small door immediately appeared in a corner. This small door seemed to lead underground. Gu Hai exchanged looks with the 4 legates. Then he slowly walked down step by step. When they reached the bottom, night pearls illuminated the surroundings. "You've hollowed out the entire mountain?" Scar's eyes widened. "There are ritual arrays all around the mountain to reinforce this huge cave? To prevent outsiders from entering?" Shangguan Hen said gravely. "Spirit stones. There are so many spirit stones." Chan Tianshan exclaimed excitedly. It was a huge space, and at this moment, it was filled with densely packed spirit stones, piled up into a small mountain. "I knew it." Gu Hai revealed a confident smile. "My lord guessed right. The Great Feng Mafia family must have accumulated a lot of wealth over the years. Even if they send tributes, they still have a lot left," Gao Xianji said with a smile. "Since there are enough spirit stones, let's use them to lay a ritual array," Gu Hai said seriously. "Lay a ritual array?" Everyone looked at Gu Hai. "That's right. Strength reigns supreme. Do you still remember the spirit spring that I laid in the innate puzzle world? I'll lay a huge spirit spring for the 3,000 of us to use. Everyone has been in Evil Men Valley for so many years and should have some hidden injuries. Let's recuperate first," Gu Hai said seriously. Then how many spirit stones will that exhaust?" Chan Tianshan exclaimed. "Ha ha ha ha. No matter how many, it will exhaust." Gu Hai laughed. "Yes," Gao Xianji said excitedly. "Spirit spring." Scar and Shangguan Hen revealed shocked expressions. "Aside from the spirit spring, I will lay a large ritual array. During this time, you all take turns helping me lay the ritual array. Try to finish it by tonight. We will have a fierce battle after this," Gu Hai said seriously. "Yes," everyone answered. Chan Tianshan, "Are there any movements from Montez's side?" Gu Hai asked gravely as he looked at Chan Tianshan. "Huh, Montez? Montez has not made much of a move. He has been recuperating. I even chatted with him. He said that Feng Ling has suffered for the past few years and that he needs to take good care of her," Chan Tianshan said, shaking his head. Gu Hai smiled faintly and said, "Did you tell Montez about our situation, including everything about the innate puzzle world?" Huh. You can't say it? I only mentioned it a little." Chapter 88. Some cultivators surrounded Gu Hai outside the beast arena. However, there were also a large number of cultivators who did not move at all. This included the 9th young master and his subordinates. Cough, cough, cough. The 9th young master covered his mouth with a handkerchief and coughed. However, he narrowed his eyes. 9th young master, is this Gu Hai crazy? To think that he took out the century lifespan immortality peach in front of everyone. What is he trying to do? Wouldn't it be fine if he just said that the century lifespan immortality peach is gone? A subordinate asked, feeling confused. Huh. What do you know? The ninth young master retorted with narrowed eyes. Huh. You only see the century lifespan immortality peach but not his deeper intentions. Although he showed the century lifespan immortality peach, he mobilized all the cultivators on 9-5 Island for his use. The human heart. He is an expert at manipulating the human heart. Cough. Cough. The ninth young master coughed while covering his mouth. Mobilizing all the cultivators on 9-5 Island for his use? Ninth young master, this subordinate does not understand. He is protecting his family. Or rather, he is protecting his two adopted sons, Guqin and Gu Han, the ninth young master explained. Oh, with Gu Hai not appearing for so long, the cultivators waiting outside the Gu residence slowly lost their patience. However, now that the century lifespan immortality peach appeared, their patience returned. They are waiting for Gu Hai to walk right into their trap. Hence, they need to remain unharmed. Not only will they not harm Guqin and Gu Han, but they will even do their best to protect them, waiting for Gu Hai to walk right into their trap, the ninth young master explained. Gu Hai is mobilizing all the cultivators to protect Guqin and Gu Han? And the price he is paying is just to show the century lifespan immortality peach? That subordinate showed a strange expression. Although he has not matured yet, he has the air of an ambitious and ruthless person. Standing there, the surrounding cultivators clearly want to go up and snatch it, but none of them dare to. With just a wave of his hand, the surrounding cultivators are restrained. Good scheming. Good courage. The ninth young master narrowed his eyes and observed. Ninth young master, should we make a move? The ninth young master shook his head and said coldly, remember, I have never been here before. There is no need for me to make an appearance. Inform Luotianga. Isn't he nearby? They want to be my substitute? Let's see if they have the ability. Yes. Gu Hai led a large group of evil men away from the beast arena. The surrounding cultivators could only watch as Gu Hai swaggered away. Among this group of evil men, Gu Hai trusted Gao Xianji the most. Hence, he handed the important task of searching to Gao Xianji. Gao Xianji was extremely efficient. First, she isolated and interrogated the Great Feng Mafia family disciples. At the same time, she sent people to isolate the Great Feng Mafia family disciples, preventing outsiders from getting close. Finally, she started a comprehensive search. Shangguanhen's yellow division followed Gu Hai. Shangguanhen took out a ring from the vegetative Li Wei. This is a storage ring. Gu Hai looked at Shangguanhen. Yes, my lord. There is a small space in it. However, this ring does not seem to be particularly good. At most, it has only about 3 meters of space. The main thing is that Montez asked about it, so I just casually mentioned it, Chen Tianshan said, shaking his head. Montez asked about it? Legate Chen still underestimated Montez. Montez is not an easy person to deal with. He was just trying to get information out of you. He should have gotten everything out of you, Shangguanhen said, shaking his head. That can't be, right? Chen Tianshan said, feeling confused. Never mind. Those are not secrets. It should not be difficult for Montez to find out, Gu Hai said seriously. My lord, are we biased against Montez? I heard everything from him. Meng Tai was a man who cared about his feelings. For Fengling, he was imprisoned for 20 years, but he still loved Fengling deeply. For such a passionate person, are we? Chen Tianshan said, feeling confused. Passionate person? Ha! Gu Hai smiled coldly and shook his head. I admit that Montez is a capable person. However, if you say that he is a passionate person, then you are wrong. Oh, isn't that so? A passionate person would not betray his friends and family. He killed Yu Yao, whom he grew up with, just like that. For the sake of his future, he did not care about his relationship with his fellow disciple. He also did not care about Li Wei's feelings when he killed Yu Yao. Would you kill your family for the sake of some future? Gu Hai said indifferently. Chen Tianshan's expression changed. Furthermore, this person is too good at acting. Back then, before I returned to Evil Men Valley, he was already so weak that he could not move. However, even after so long, he could still fight with Li Wei. When he awoke Fengling's consciousness, he pretended to be dead at first. Then he still had the strength to kill Li Wei? Gu Hai said seriously. Perhaps. There is no perhaps. He is the Earth Division Master, my colleague. I will not target him as long as he does not scheme against me. However, I do not have much of a relationship with him. I helped him obtain freedom in exchange for his promise to help us retrieve the method to remove the masks. However, he forgot about it from the start to the end. He immediately forgot the grace of saving his life. Do you think he is still loyal to his feelings? Gu Hai said indifferently. Ah! Chen Tianshan's expression changed dramatically. Legate Chen, this Montez is not a simple person. He is extremely scheming and has a cold personality. Don't be fooled by his appearance. Perhaps he is just pretending to be pitiful. Perhaps he is baring his bloody fangs at you under that pitiful appearance, Gao Xianji said solemnly. Scar and Shangguan Hen at the side nodded. Yes, I got it. I will be careful. Chen Tianshan nodded. Milord, what about my authority token? Gao Xianji looked at Gu Hai. Xiao Chan had obtained the Earth Division Master's authority token from the fake Montez. This was Elite Hall's token. Gu Hai shook his head and said, just keep it. Hey. However, what if the Hall Master finds out? Chen Tianshan asked out of curiosity. So what if she finds out? We are not obligated to help Montez find what he lost. We spent a lot of effort to obtain it. Why should we give it to him for free? Since Milord said so, I'll keep it well, Gao Xianji said solemnly. After some silence, Gu Hai said with a frown, I keep feeling that Montez is hiding something from us. Oh, everyone felt slightly stunned. That's right. Milord, it does seem unusual, Shangguan Hen said with a sullen expression. Oh. Scar and Chen Tianshan looked at Shangguan Hen. Earlier at the Beast Arena, even if Milord did not fall out with Montez at the very least, he distanced himself from Montez. Given Montez's scheming, he definitely figured it out. Under normal circumstances, Montez would have taken Feng Ling and left the Great Feng Mafia family. However, he did not do so and chose to stay here, Shangguan Hen said. The Great Feng Mafia family still has something that Montez wants? Gao Xianji's expression changed. Is it Li Wei? Scar asked in shock. Keep an eye on Montez at all times. Guard Li Wei strictly. Gu Hai instructed. Yes, everyone answered. All right. Pick out the people who know how to lay the ritual array from your subordinates. I'll immediately draw the blueprint. Prepare to use a large number of spirit stones to lay the ritual array according to my blueprint. Encase the entire family's inner region in it, Gu Hai said. Yes. Everyone answered. With the support of the surging spirit stones, Gu Hai started working. Chapter 89. The Great Feng Mafia Family. After Gu Hai revealed himself, the cultivators' focus changed. Gambling was no longer important. The focus was on Gu Hai. When Gu Hai entered the Great Feng Mafia family's territory, evil men guarded the surroundings, preventing the cultivators from getting close. However, it did not matter if the cultivators did not get close as long as Gu Hai was around. The many cultivators were secretly plotting a major operation. Hence, cultivators kept watch in the Great Feng Mafia family's territory. Fortunately, Gu Hai did not come out. At this moment, a few cultivators stood silently in a valley. The group frowned as they looked at the nearby evil men holding weapons. Is there any activity? One of the people asked, seeming to be new. No. There is a new batch of evil men. However, this group of evil men is incredibly vigilant. We could not get close at all. Actually, they discovered us long ago. Another person said with a frown. What is Gu Hai doing in there? Look, something seems to have happened there. What? Fog. Why is there so much fog suddenly appearing? So fast, so much and so thick. It's still increasing. A fog that covers the sky and sun? It envelopes the Great Feng Mafia family's territory? A ritual array? Is this a ritual array? The group of monitors revealed shocked expressions. Soon, the distant evil men vanished into the fog. The thick fog churned, looking exceptionally strange. The expressions of the countless monitors changed drastically. Gu Hai laid a ritual array? It must be Gu Hai's. Is he not going to come out? That's not right. That's not right. Do you still remember the innate puzzle world? That was just a cover. Back then, Gu Hai laid a ritual array to make everyone think that Gu Hai was still inside. However, Gu Hai sneakily escaped? Gu Hai is here again? Quick, go back and inform the others to seal off the surroundings. Don't let Gu Hai escape. Quick, quick, inform everyone. In the outside world, many cultivators started to move. Of course, there were also cultivators who slowly charged into the formation. However, as soon as they entered the fog, Xing! Suddenly a huge saber chi rushed out of the fog. Ah! That Shouja suddenly screamed and was immediately split in half. Ah! 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 Miserable cries rang out from all directions of the formation, causing countless cultivators in the outside world to tremble in fear. However, in the end some managed to escape. However, most of those who managed to escape were missing an arm or a leg. The one with the lightest injury had a huge bloody wound on his chest. Great array? That formation, the Heavenly Saber Death Match. What Heavenly Saber Death Match? He actually learned the ritual array that Gu Hai broke in the innate puzzle world. The Heavenly Saber Death Match? Gu Hai has set up a large formation in the inner region of the sect. Countless cultivators in the surroundings revealed shocked expressions. At this moment, their faces were gloomy and anxious. The moment the Heavenly Saber Death Match appeared, the surrounding cultivators could no longer get close. In a house beside the beast arena, Montez hugged the dazed Feng Ling. Then, he narrowed his eyes as he looked at the large, cloudy ritual array that suddenly appeared in the inner region of the sect. Gu Hai, you are really bold and daring. Do you know that after this, everyone will move together? Meng Tai revealed an unsightly expression. On a mountain peak, 9th young master, that Gu Hai laid another Heavenly Saber Death Match. This time it is even larger, covering the entire inner region of the Great Feng Mafia family. How did he manage to change it so much? A subordinate asked, feeling confused. It is useless. The ritual array that Gu Hai laid is completed with spirit stones. However, the Heavenly Saber Death Match in the past was laid with the Pavilion Master's spirit treasure. As time passed, the evil men seemed to discover more secrets about this lord. How could an innate realm cultivator lay such a strong ritual array? Furthermore, there was spirit spring water? This was the first time the evil men heard that someone could lay a ritual array. The evil men felt even more reverence for Gu Hai. Legate-chan, when are we going to start? I can't wait. An evil man called out. Calm down. Milord will be here soon. Chen Tianshan said seriously. All right then. The evil men could only look at the spirit spring water with envious eyes, waiting for Gu Hai to appear as soon as possible. At this moment, Gu Hai was in a remote hall at the side. Gu Hai, Gao Xianji, Scar, Shangguan Hen, and another evil man surrounded the vegetative Li Wei. Li Wei's hair had been shaved clean. Everyone frowned as they looked at Li Wei's head. How did you discover it? Gu Hai looked at that evil man. This subordinate used to be a coroner, and is more sensitive to the markings on the human body. When Milord had me guard Li Wei, I checked and discovered a tattoo on his head. So I shaved a little until I saw this tattoo, that evil man said seriously. This tattoo? A peony flower? No, this peony flower is very strange. Not only is it yellow, but it seems like it has not fully bloomed yet, Scar said with a frown. A peony flower tattoo on the head is nothing. However, why does Feng Ling have a peony flower tattoo on her head as well? Gao Xianji said with a frown. Li Wei? Feng Ling? Gu Hai narrowed his eyes slightly. I remember that Montez recognized Feng Ling from the tattoo on her head. That is to say 20 years ago, when Feng Ling was still Montez's wife, the tattoo was already there? Milord, this subordinate has studied this tattoo before. It should be very old. Based on the spacing on it, it should have been there since childhood. Then as the head grew, there was a gap, Shangguan Hen said with a frown. It was there since childhood? In that case, could it be that all four of them had it? Scar asked with a frown. That can't be. Montez recognized that Feng Ling was not Yu Yao through this tattoo. Gao Xianji immediately shook her head. In that case, why did Feng Ling and Li Wei get this peony tattoo when they were young? How? Scar asked, feeling confused. Gu Hai narrowed his eyes slightly and said, It looks like the situation of the four disciples of the Great Feng Mafia family is more complicated than we thought. Perhaps this is part of the reason why Montez has not left yet. Everyone nodded. After soaking in the spirit spring, continue searching the Great Feng Mafia family's territory, Gu Hai said seriously. Yes, everyone answered. My lord, this subordinate already cracked Li Wei's storage ring today. However, I have not checked it yet. Perhaps. Shang Wanhen said. Oh. Gu Hai immediately received the storage ring. Whoosh. Whoosh. Xiao Chun immediately took out everything in the storage ring. There were large amounts of spirit stones and some of Li Wei's daily necessities. However, there were no special treasures. Hey, there's a letter here. Scar picked up the letter. It looks like it has been there for a long time. Open it and take a look. When the letter was opened, everyone immediately read it. There were not many words in the letter. At that time, the century lifespan immortality peach will belong to whoever obtains it first. We are not allowed to kill each other. Everything will depend on each person's luck, the Golden Horn Gang master said with a smile. You organized really quickly, Montez said with a faint smile. My brother and I are from the Golden Horn Gang. My younger brother and I are both nascent soul realm cultivators. When we arrived here the day before yesterday, we nearly prepared to charge into the ritual array. Fortunately, Mr. Meng gave us pointers. Otherwise, we would have ended up like Li Wei. That would be terrible. We followed Mr. Meng's instructions and gathered the cultivators from all over. Indeed, everyone hit it off, willing to attack the ritual array with me, capture Gu Hai and snatch the immortality peach. You each take what you need. Others think that you two brothers will definitely become Gu Hai's main targets, allowing them to fish in troubled waters. However, they do not know that if all of them participate, they will distract Gu Hai, giving you more chances to capture Gu Hai. Montez said with a smile. Yes, we each take what we need. However, I believe that we brothers will definitely be the first to capture Gu Hai. Unexpectedly, I made such a great harvest the moment I arrived at 9-5 Island. Ha ha ha. Golden Horn said excitedly. When are you breaking the ritual array? Montez asked out of curiosity. We have 10,000 people now. I'll try to fight for more. I heard that this Gu Hai is very strange. I want to wait for 2 more days. We will start after we organize 20,000 people, Golden Horn said after taking a deep breath. You still want to wait? Montez frowned. Golden Horn seemed somewhat anxious. Mr. Meng, I am somewhat curious. Why are you helping me? Aren't you and Gu Hai Elite Hall colleagues? Furthermore, Gu Hai seems to have just saved you, Golden Horn said, feeling curious. There is no why. I still have some matters to attend to. I'll take my leave first. Montez shook his head. With Feng Ling in his arms, Meng Tai left Golden Horn, as some evil people were already looking at them. As Golden Horn watched Montez leave, he showed a strange expression. What a strange person. Chapter 91. Great Feng Mafia Family, Dragon Tortoise Palace. Gu Hai sat before a table with 4 legates in front of him. My lord, the people outside seem to be getting restless. They seem to have organized themselves. From the looks of it, they are going to make a move soon. Chan Tianshan said with a frown. Oh, who are they? Gu Hai asked seriously. This subordinate spent spirit stones to buy information. It is an organization of 2 brothers. One is called Golden Horn and the other is Silver Horn. I heard that they just entered the Yuanying state not long ago. Chan Tianshan said solemnly. They just entered the Yuanying state? That's good. Gu Hai nodded. However, my lord, why are we waiting for them to attack? Furthermore, why are they organizing an attack? Chan Tianshan asked, feeling confused. I want to make an example out of them. Gu Hai said coldly. Oh. Chan Tianshan felt slightly stunned. Gao Xianji, who was at the side, explained, right now, people are everywhere on 9-5 Island seeking trouble for us. My lord wants to beat them all up in one go, crippling them. This is a warning to the others on 9-5 Island, telling them not to dream. However, there are 2 Yuanying state cultivators. This subordinate is worried. Chan Tianshan said worriedly. They just entered the Yuanying state. The ritual array I laid is even stronger than the one everyone used at the Beast Arena a few days ago. Since I dared to lay it, I have the ability to block them, Gu Hai said seriously. Yes. How's the operation of the beast arena? The Great Feng Mafia family disciples did not cooperate. They kept crying for their parents. My subordinates got impatient and killed half of them, Chen Tianshan said bitterly. Half of the nearly 1,000 Great Feng Mafia family disciples died in one day. How was this gambling? It's good that they died, Scar said coldly from the side. Shang Guanhen nodded and said, that's good as well. My lord opened the beast arena to vent the accumulated resentment in our hearts. No matter what the result is, it's good that the resentment is gone. Otherwise, it will be detrimental to our cultivation in the future. When you leave the ritual array tomorrow, hang a sign at the entrance, Gu Hai said seriously. Oh, trespassers die, Gu Hai said coldly. Yes, Chen Tianshan replied. Turning his head, Gu Hai looked at Gao Xianji, Shang Guanhen and Scar. How's the investigation going? We've already dug 3 feet into the ground, but we can't find anything unusual, Gao Xianji said with a complicated expression. That's right, my lord. There are no clues at all. Scar nodded. Gu Hai looked at Shang Guanhen. Shang Haihen also shook his head. Are you sure you've searched all of them? Gu Hai asked in a deep voice. They should have searched everywhere, Gao Xianji affirmed. After taking a deep breath, Gu Hai said seriously, the place you are looking for is where the Great Feng Mafia family disciples stayed for decades. If there is something there, can't they find it? The places I want you to look for are all places they have never been before. Oh, but there is none, Scar said with a frown. However, Gao Xianji and Shang Guanhen felt slightly stunned, entering deep thought. Previously, I checked these records and discovered that most of the places in the family region had people staying there before. However, there is one place that very few people go to. Everyone avoids talking about it. You know of this place as well, the Trash Valley. Have you investigated it? Gu Hai asked indifferently. The expressions of the 3 legates changed. Gu Hai looked at the 3 with a sullen expression. When you encounter a place you hate, you avoid it. Remember this. Don't have such a mentality in the future. The more you hate something, the more it is your weakness. When you look at things, you have to overcome your own subjective emotions. Yes. Everyone's expressions turned solemn. Let's go then. Let's go and see how dirty that trash valley is for all of you to avoid it, Gu Hai said seriously. Yes. The group followed Gu Hai out of the Dragon Tortoise Palace. Then they headed for the trash valley together. A large number of evil men followed behind the 5. Soon they arrived at the trash valley. A stench assaulted their noses from afar. The evil men all showed expressions of disgust. However, Gu Hai did not seem to feel it. He slowly climbed to a peak and looked down at the valley below. The valley was filled with trash. Countless rats ran through the valley. White bones littered the valley, with many corpses and bones from the beast arena. The rats fed on these corpses and bones and reproduced. My lord, the rats that we ate in the past all came from here? Scar asked, suppressing his disgust. The other evil men did the same, looking at the rats with disgust. Gu Hai stared at the valley for a while. Then he narrowed his eyes and said, clean up the valley. The evil men exclaimed in shock. Clean up everything in the valley and dump it in the valley beside it. Go, Gu Hai ordered. The evil men suppressed their disgust and nodded in the end. They had even eaten rats before. Naturally, they did not care about this bit of disgust. They were just not used to it earlier. Bang! 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 A large number of evil men leaped into the valley, grabbing stone slabs and starting to dig. Boom! The moment they dug, a large amount of stench assaulted their noses. The stench that had been fermenting for decades was extremely horrifying. The evil men endured the stench and quickly dumped the dirt they dug into the valley beside it. Rumble! The evil men worked together, moving extremely quickly as the rats fled in horror. The valley's trash piled up like a mountain. This digging caused everyone's eyes to widen. That was because no one had thought about how deep this valley was. Something's wrong. My lord, this valley is too deep, like a gigantic abyss. How much have we dug? The trash we dug already fills 4 valleys, but we have not reached the bottom yet, Gao Xianji said in shock. Continue digging. Gu Hai said seriously. Yes, The evil men endured the increasingly stale stench and continued to clean up the trash in the valley. As they dug deeper, they could no longer see the evil men at the bottom of the valley. They could only hear the rumbling and hear the evil men working below. Gu Hai and the four-legged stood on the peak, staring down. The evil men dug deeper and deeper in the pitch-black valley. Suddenly, a golden light appeared in the pitch-black abyss. It looked like a small flame had lit up at the bottom. We dug to the bottom. There's something there. There's something there. Suddenly, pleasantly surprised voices came from the valley. Continue digging. Quickly dig. The evil men immediately moved even faster. Chapter 91. Great Feng Mafia Family, Dragon Tortoise Palace. Gu Hai sat before a table with four legates in front of him. "Milord, the people outside seem to be getting restless. They seem to have organized themselves. From the looks of it, they are going to make a move soon," Chen Tianshan said with a frown. "Oh, who are they?" Gu Hai asked seriously. This subordinate spent spirit stones to buy information. It is an organization of two brothers. One is called Golden Horn and the other is Silver Horn. I heard that they just entered the Yuanying state not long ago, Chen Tianshan said solemnly. They just entered the Yuanying state? That's good. Gu Hai nodded. However, milord, why are we waiting for them to attack? Furthermore, why are they organizing an attack? Chen Tianshan asked, feeling confused. I want to make an example out of them, Gu Hai said coldly. Oh. Chen Tianshan felt slightly stunned. Gao Xianji, who was at the side, explained, right now, people are everywhere on 9-5 Island seeking trouble for us. Milord wants to beat them all up in one go, crippling them. This is a warning to the others on 9-5 Island, telling them not to dream. However, there are two Yuanying state cultivators. This subordinate is worried. Chen Tianshan said worriedly. They just entered the Yuanying state. The ritual array I laid is even stronger than the one everyone used at the Beast Arena a few days ago. Since I dared to lay it, I have the ability to block them, Gu Hai said seriously. Yes. How's the operation of the Beast Arena? The Great Feng Mafia family disciples did not cooperate. They kept crying for their parents. My subordinates got impatient and killed half of them, Chen Tianshan said bitterly. Half of the nearly 1,000 Great Feng Mafia family disciples died in one day. How was this gambling? It's good that they died, Scar said coldly from the side. Shang Guanhen nodded and said, that's good as well. Milord opened the Beast Arena to vent the accumulated resentment in our hearts. No matter what the result is, it's good that the resentment is gone. Otherwise, it will be detrimental to our cultivation in the future. When you leave the ritual array tomorrow, hang a sign at the entrance, Gu Hai said seriously. Oh, trespassers die, Gu Hai said coldly. Yes, Chen Tianshan replied. Turning his head, Gu Hai looked at Gao Xianji, Shang Guanhen and Scar. How's the investigation going? We've already dug 3 feet into the ground, but we can't find anything unusual, Gao Xianji said with a complicated expression. That's right, my lord. There are no clues at all. Scar nodded. Gu Hai looked at Shang Guanhen. Shang Haihen also shook his head. Are you sure you've searched all of them? Gu Hai asked in a deep voice. They should have searched everywhere, Gao Xianji affirmed. After taking a deep breath, Gu Hai said seriously, the place you are looking for is where the Great Feng Mafia family disciples stayed for decades. If there is something there, can't they find it? The places I want you to look for are all places they have never been before. Oh, but there is none, Scar said with a frown. However, Gao Xianji and Shang Guanhen felt slightly stunned, entering deep thought. Previously, I checked these records and discovered that most of the places in the family region had people staying there before. However, there is one place that very few people go to. Enter the ritual array with them. Goldhorn glared. Along the way, Chen Tianshan and the others showed sullen expressions. More and more people gathered around them. When Chen Tianshan and the others reached the entrance of the ritual array, the surrounding cultivators drew their weapons, waiting for orders. Chen Tianshan looked around and saw 5,000 cultivators surrounding them. The leaders were Gold Horn and Silver Horn. Everyone! Chen Tianshan suddenly called out. Huh! Gold Horn narrowed his eyes as he stared at Chen Tianshan. Do you see this sign? Chen Tianshan pointed to the sign that he hung in the morning. My lord told me to hang this. Everyone should recognize the words on it. Trespassers of the ritual array will die. Chen Tianshan shouted. You are seeking death. Silverhorn snorted coldly as he swung his sword at Chen Tianshan. Enter the ritual array. Chen Tianshan shouted. Yes. The hundreds of evil men followed Chen Tianshan into the ritual array. Xing! Silverhorn's sword struck empty air. The key to breaking the ritual array is here. Attack together. Goldhorn shouted. Good. The 5,000-odd cultivators immediately shouted. Then they followed Goldhorn and Silverhorn in a charge at Chen Tianshan. At the same time, a large number of cultivators charged into the ritual array from the other directions. Chen Tianshan, stop right there. Silverhorn shouted as he flew into the ritual array. Rumble! 20,000 cultivators charged into the cloudy ritual array from all directions at nearly the same time. Dang! 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 The evil men who retreated into the ritual array clashed with the swords of some of the pursuing cultivators. However, as long as these people were not from the Yuanying state, the evil men did not fear them. Buzz! The surroundings suddenly turned white as all the cultivators charged into the ritual array. Chen Tianshan, let's see how Guhai can save you. Silverhorn shouted and sent out another huge manifested sword. A ghost stone suddenly appeared in Chen Tianshan's hand as he glared. Xing! Suddenly, a strand of saber chi shot out of the white fog and headed for the manifested sword. Boom! The manifested sword and the saber chi shattered. What? Silverhorn's expression changed. I already hung a sign. All who barge into the ritual array will die. Since you are seeking death, then don't blame me. Heavenly sabers attack. Guhai's voice immediately spread throughout the ritual array. The expressions of the countless cultivators around the ritual array changed. They had a bad premonition. Senior brother, look. An evil man is charging at us. Why is there a heavenly saber hanging above his head? Ah, he can control that heavenly saber? Oh no, that heavenly saber is coming at us. Block it! Block it! Boom! A loud sound rang out, and a huge trench appeared in the ground. An evil man controlled a heavenly saber to chop down, immediately chopping 2 cultivators in half. Chapter 92. The next day, Chen Tianshan led a group of evil men out of the ritual array. Countless cultivators stared at this group of people. Everyone's nerves were tense. Only this group of evil men seemed extremely relaxed. When Chen Tianshan walked out, he saw the malicious gazes in the surroundings. Then, he revealed a cold smile and said, Hang it up. Yes. The group of evil men quickly hung up a signboard. Trespassers of the ritual array die. When the signboard was hung up, the surrounding cultivators immediately revealed shocked expressions. What arrogant words. Humph. Is Guhai really going to make all of us his enemy? What a joke. That day, only 100 people recklessly came forward. Now we have Humph. The surrounding cultivators all showed unsightly expressions as they looked at the signboard. In a corner, Montez hugged Fengling and watched from afar. When he saw the signboard, Montez narrowed his eyes and said, Guhai, don't blame me for bewitching them. You are in my way. However, Fengling appeared to be in a daze, not caring about anything around her. In another corner, the 9th young master covered his mouth with a handkerchief and coughed for a while. Cough, 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 cough. Why is Luotianga not here yet? He should be here soon, 9th young master, a subordinate said respectfully. Humph. The 9th young master snorted coldly. On a large mountain in the VIP zone at this moment, 2 men stood there. One wore golden robes and the other wore silver robes. The one in golden robes was Jin Jiao, who spoke to Montez not long ago. Big brother, we are almost done organizing. We already have 20,000 people willing to charge into the ritual array with us. The silver-robed man said seriously. Silverhorn, calm down. We will organize them. We cannot let them enjoy the fruits of our labor. I need to arrange a way to break the ritual array, Jin Jiao said seriously. However, we cannot delay any longer. If we delay any longer, the other Yuanying state cultivators will come. At that time there will be many variables. Silverhorn said with a frown. It should be done by evening. Jin Jiao said seriously. All right. I will inform everyone now. Prepare to charge into the ritual array together. Silverhorn nodded. Jin Jiao nodded. Today, the atmosphere in the bestial battle arena had become even stranger. Chen Tianshan was in charge of overseeing the gambling in the Colosseum. At the same time, he also spent money to buy news from the outside world. Although Goldhorn and Silverhorn had gathered 20,000 people, they were not necessarily of the same mind. It was easy to bribe them. After noon, Chen Tianshan found another Shouja who was willing to sell information. Goldhorn, Silverhorn, have you gathered 20,000 people? Chen Tianshan's face changed. That's right. I heard that they will start breaking the array in the evening. Alright, that's all I know. Don't mention what I said. The cultivator took the spirit stones and quickly disappeared from Chen Tianshan's sight. Chen Tianshan's expression changed. Another 2 hours passed. Legate, something is wrong. Some of the gamblers have scattered. Yeah, they seem to have organized and gone in another direction. We're being watched. The group of evil men said with gloomy expressions. Chen Tianshan looked at the beast arena. Then, he turned his head to the evil men and said, All right, according to my lord's instructions, we should return to the ritual array to face the enemy. They felt very fortunate that they did not join Golden Horn's and Silver Horn's teams. Outside the ritual array, the words on the signboard seemed like a joke earlier. Now they were extremely eye-catching. Trespassers of the ritual array die. While the cultivators outside the ritual array rejoiced, the cultivators in the ritual array despaired. Guhai really dared. He really dared to kill everyone? Was he not afraid of becoming enemies with the large sects of the entire Thousand Islands Sea? Outside the beast arena, Montez hugged Feng Ling, his eyelids twitching wildly. Under another roof, the ninth young master sat at a stone table, drinking tea as he looked at the ritual array in the distance. Cough, cough, cough. I have not come out for many years. Have the cultivators outside become fools? They dare to casually barge into a ritual array that they do not understand? Do they think that it will be fine as long as they have more people? The more people there are, the more people will die. Cough, cough. The ninth young master smiled coldly as he looked at the miserable screams coming from the ritual array. Ten-odd subordinates followed behind this white-clad man. All of them showed grave expressions as they looked at the great formation in the distance. The heavenly saber death match? Ha! The white-clad man's eyes lit up. The group stared at the great formation before them. Some of the surrounding cultivators immediately recognized the white-clad man. Luo Tiange? The Thousand Island Sea's East Sea Pirate King? Someone suddenly exclaimed. He roamed the Thousand Island Sea for 100 years and destroyed many sections. Several people from the Yuanying state died at his hands? Why is he here as well? The surrounding cultivators showed unsightly expressions. This was a great demon. An expert that the various large sects were not willing to offend. The white-clad man, Luo Tiange, had his long hair combed back and looked very handsome. A sinister air flashed in his eyes as he looked at the great formation. Then he looked at a nearby mountain forest. There was a subordinate of the ninth young master in that mountain forest. The ninth young master's subordinate shook his head, indicating that the ninth young master was not willing to meet him. Luo Tiange raised his eyebrows and took a deep breath. Am I not qualified to meet you? If not for the old man Guanqi's inheritance, do you think I would be willing to be your substitute? Humph. Never mind, take a good look. Pride flashed in Luo Tiange's eyes. Ah, big brother, I have an idea. Our 5 senses are distorted, and we cannot tell the direction. However, the rain falls from the sky. Follow the rain to find the direction. Quick. Silverhorn's voice came from the great formation. Where are you running to? A shout came from the great formation. Rumble. 2 figures soared into the sky. We are out. We are out. Ha 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 ha. Golden Horn's loud laughter rang out. At this moment, Golden Horn's and Silver Horn's clothes were tattered. Earlier, close to 100 evil men had chased after them while brandishing their heavenly sabers. If this were outside, these evil men would simply be seeking death. However, they had heavenly sabers in there. The heavenly sabers were no weaker than their manifested swords. With 100 evil men chasing after them, Golden Horn and Silver Horn felt very sullen. They could not flee and they could not find the direction. As more evil men appeared, the two Yuanying state cultivators felt very depressed. However, they managed to escape. After leaving the Great Formation, the two showed unsightly expressions. This was because the miserable cries in the Great Formation had lessened. It looked like the 20,000 cultivators were nearly wiped out. All 20,000 cultivators were wiped out? Golden Horn and Silver Horn trembled. The two stepped forward and prepared to fly away. Rattle! Rattle! All of a sudden, two chains shot towards him. What? The two's expressions changed as they received the chains with their huge swords. Boom! Boom! The chains and the swords clashed. Montez paced back and forth as he turned his head to look at Fengling, who was in his embrace. Fengling, you must be tired. Rest for a while. Montez softly consoled her. Fengling shook her head but did not say anything. Whoosh! Montez gently blew on Fengling's face. You are tired. Go to sleep. Sleep for a while. Fengling's consciousness blurred as she said in a daze, I'm very sleepy. If you are sleepy then sleep. Montez said gently. Right. Fengling slowly closed her eyes, looking like she was about to fall asleep. Montez silently carried Fengling away and left to settle her down. On another mountain peak, Luo Tiange showed a ferocious expression. The Heavenly Saber Death Match? It is indeed a pretty good ritual array. Back then, my Fire Dragon Lock did not last this long with the ritual array at 6-5 Island. Let's see how long you can last. Fire Rise. Boom! The Fire Dragon Lock erupted with dazzling flames again, looking like 5 volcanoes spewing out lava, trying to melt the entire Heavenly Saber Death Match. Crack! 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 More Heavenly Sabers shattered. From the inside it looked like lava filled the sky. The Heavenly Sabers could not hold on for much longer. The group of evil men showed anxious expressions. Only Gu Hai's expression did not change. He held the chessboard-shaped ritual array's formation origin in his hand. Slowly, most of the surrounding clouds scattered, revealing Gu Hai's location to everyone. Everyone in the outside world saw Gu Hai. Gu Hai stood in front of the Dragon Tortoise Palace and coldly stared at Luo Tiange in the distance. There was no fear in his eyes. Humph! I hate this expression of yours the most. Fire Dragon Lock Rise. Luo Tiange roared while glaring. Boom! Luo Tiange drove the Fire Dragon Lock to its limits, and its strength soared again. Bam! 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 Immediately large swaths of heavenly sabers shattered with a loud rumble. Clack! All of a sudden, the heavenly sabers at one of the chains shattered into pieces. Boom! That chain landed first, splitting the heavenly saber death match in half. Surging flames immediately set the surroundings ablaze. The flames soared into the air, filling the sky with a sea of fire. He broke the ritual array. It's over for Gu Hai. Startled exclamations came from outside. Just at this moment, a figure suddenly entered the sea of fire. This figure moved very quickly. Furthermore, the figure managed to conceal itself amid the vast flames. Most people could not see who it was. Only 2 people managed to see it clearly. One was the 9th young master, who was outside. Oh, it's Montez? The 9th young master goggled, showing some surprise. The other person was Gu Hai. He finally made it in. Anticipation flashed in Gu Hai's eyes. Luo Tiange controlled the Fire Dragon Lock to sweep at Gu Hai. Walala! A large swath of heavenly sabers blocked the Fire Dragon Lock. Chapter 95. The 28 Line Pair World Ritual Array? The ninth young master's expression suddenly changed as he stood up under a roof in the distance. Like everyone else, the ninth young master also felt startled by the ritual array before him. Everything in the innate puzzle world was still vivid in his mind. However, Gu Hai was just an innate realm cultivator. The ninth young master's 28-line pair world ritual array can be set up with spirit stones? What exactly did this Gu Hai learn from us? A subordinate exclaimed. Once the 28-line pair world ritual array appears, wouldn't that Luo Tinga? Shut up. The ninth young master barked with a sullen expression. The subordinates no longer dared to speak. In the distance, the pale Luo Tinga turned his head to look at the ninth young master. Then, he immediately saw the ninth young master's sullen expression. Luo Tinga's expression changed as he flew over again. The chain attached to his back suddenly flew out of his back. Rattle! As the chains flew out, they seemed to form a large net. Then they grew even larger, and surging flames surged out. Fire dragon net, break it! Luo Tinga shouted. Rumble! The chain net quickly grew larger. Although Luo Tinga had chopped it off, it grew longer again. Overwhelming flames surged out of it again, looking like a large furnace descending from the sky and surging towards the ritual array. Boom! The flame dragon net clashed with the ritual array. Flames even larger than before surged into the ritual array. Humph! Did no one tell you? My ritual array is many times more ferocious than before. You are seeking death. Gu Hai's cold shout came from the ritual array. Xiang Yu is here. Scram! Another roar came from the ritual array. Then a huge, ferocious general in the shape of a cloud appeared, holding a halberd as he chopped at the flame dragon net. The moment the halberd appeared, it immediately sent out a strong saber wind at the flame dragon net. Boom! Everywhere the halberd passed, it split everything in half. The flame dragon net immediately exploded. Ah! Luo Tinga immediately cried out in pain as the magic treasure pulled his attention. Shing! The saber wind from the halberd instantly sliced through Luo Tinga's chest. Luo Tinga did his best to defend himself. Pooh! Luo Tinga vomited a mouthful of blood. A large bloody wound appeared on his forehead, extending from his face to his chest and to his abdomen. Bang! Luo Tinga fell. He was covered in blood. Although this was only an external wound, Luo Tinga's entire body trembled. Just a little more, and he would have been struck. Poo-pew! After vomiting 2 mouthfuls of blood, Luo Tinga struggled to his feet. He looked at the ritual array in horror but did not dare to charge in again. Hiss! Gasps could be heard all around. 28 line pair heavens and earth formation? It's too scary. The East Sea Pirate King who roamed the Thousand Islands Sea was actually not a match for him. Even the Fire Dragon Lock and Fire Dragon Net were destroyed? Cries of alarm rang out in the surroundings. Countless cultivators gulped. They rejoiced that they had not barged into the formation at the beginning. The great array regained its calm. The thick clouds made it impossible for those outside to see what was inside. In the interior. Earlier, Xiang Yu, who had condensed from the clouds, arrived at the Deep Abyss's entrance while holding his halberd. At the Deep Abyss's entrance, Montez glared at Xiang Yu with overwhelming rage on his face. At this moment, Gu Hai had already arrived above Xiang Yu's head. He controlled Xiang Yu's cloud beast and held his halberd as he coldly looked at the furious Montez in the Deep Abyss. Gu Hai! You! Good! Very good! Montez roared in shock and rage. Division Master Meng, do you still remember what I said earlier? That Montez schemed against me, so I killed him. You are the one who organized the alliance to break the ritual array outside, right? If you did not scheme against me, why would I scheme against you? Humph! Gu Hai snorted coldly. Ha 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 ha! Laughter came from the Deep Abyss. It was the barrier that Montez had just removed. The barrier vanished, revealing the mouth of the volcano. Above the mouth of the volcano, a blind old man imprisoned in chains seemed to have startled awake. My disciple Montez, even you have a time when you get schemed against? Good scheme. Ha 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 ha. The old man guffawed. Montez showed a ferocious expression as he said, Old man, if not for your stubbornness back then, you would not have been imprisoned here. It is all your fault. However, the blind old man, Wei Yong, smiled coldly. Imprisoned? My good disciple, if not for my stubbornness, you would have killed Fengling, Li Wei, and Yu Yao long ago, right? What a vicious ingrate! Why did I take in an evil creature like you back then? Do you want to undo this dragon vein seal? Are you trying to use Fengling, Li Wei, and the others to threaten me? It is useless. I understand you very well. If I told you everything, none of them would be able to live. I could only keep them alive by not telling you. Evil creature. Evil creature. Montez's expression changed dramatically. He turned his head to look at Gu Hai above. Then, he lowered his head to look at Wei Yong below. Humph! Old man, since you are so stubborn, I'll grant you your wish. Montez threw a palm strike at Wei Yong. Xiao Qin's palm strike looked like it would kill Wei Yong. Xing! Suddenly Xiangyu, the cloud beast that Gu Hai controlled, chopped down with its halberd. As the halberd chopped down, it charged at Montez. Huh! Montez's expression changed as he turned his head to counter with a palm strike. Boom! The impact immediately knocked Montez back. Gu Hai, do you really want to be enemies with me? Montez shouted while glaring. Division Master Meng, I already said that the Great Feng Mafia family is mine. Please scram immediately. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Gu Hai shouted while glaring. Then, he pointed the halberd at Montez again. Montez's expression changed dramatically. At this moment, his injuries had not healed yet. He was no match for the cloud beast Xiangyu. Good. Good. Very good. Gu Hai, if I can't have it, you can forget about getting it either. You are not qualified yet. Ha 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 ha. Montez guffawed as he immediately soared into the sky. Whoosh! Montez charged to the periphery of the ritual array and quickly flew out. My lord, why did you let Montez go? Gao Xianji asked anxiously at the side. However, Gu Hai smiled bitterly and shook his head, not explaining. The 28-line pair world ritual array was right. However, this ritual array drained a horrifying amount of spirit stones. The pavilion master did not say. Wei Yong shook his head. Is it to solve the Go puzzle on the tortoise shell? Gu Hai asked, feeling curious. I don't know. However, I can't solve it and neither can Montez. He thought that I could and wanted to force me to hand over the method to undo the seal. I could only pretend not to tell him. That was how I managed to survive until now, Wei Yong explained. Many thanks, Senior Mr. Wei, Gu Hai said solemnly. You saved Li Wei. There's no need to thank me. Can I go and visit my disciple Li Wei? Wei Yong smiled bitterly. Gu Hai looked at Wei Yong and remained silent for a while. Then he nodded. Chun Tianshan, bring Senior Mr. Wei to visit Li Wei? Yes, Chun Tianshan answered. After sending off Wei Yong, Gu Hai's group looked down at the deep chasm again. Suddenly, everyone seemed to see a golden image soar into the sky. The golden image was 3 kilometers tall. When it charged into the dark clouds, the light of the golden image filled the sky. Rumble! As the golden image stirred, the dark clouds in the sky turned chaotic. Lightning flashed, and the sky above the Great Feng Mafia family turned increasingly chaotic. Storms and earthquakes worked together to attack the Great Feng Mafia family. The surroundings looked like the end of the world. All the Xiozha fled towards the outside in terror. A golden image? Is that the shape of a 3-kilometer-long tail? A golden tail? A dragon tail image? A dragon tail? What is that? Countless cultivators revealed shocked expressions. We should leave. There's nothing more to see. The 9th young master said indifferently. Yes, the subordinates answered. Then they followed the 9th young master and slowly left. Luo Tiange did not care when the 9th young master left. This dragon tail had completely captured his attention. Dragon vein? A dragon vein? Luo Tiange exclaimed, nearly biting his tongue. Roar! The heavy sound of a dragon vein came from underground. At the same time, the Baxia suddenly stopped 400 kilometers to the west of the island. It seemed to sense something. Roar! The Baxia suddenly let out a loud roar. Rumble! The Baxia's speed instantly soared as it rushed in the direction of the Great Feng Mafia family. The group of ocean fiends had been opening a path at the front. However, the Baxia immediately left them behind. The Baxia went crazy. What's wrong with it? Why is the Baxia in such a rush? Where is it going? Look, look, quickly look over there. In the direction of the Great Feng Mafia family. Quickly look. Countless cultivators looked up. The Shenzhen Battalion disciples on the Shenzhen Battalion's flying ship high in the sky also goggled as they looked into the distance. Li Haoran's eyes widened as he saw a golden tail in the distant sky. It rushed into the clouds and stirred up the dark clouds in the sky. In that direction, lightning flashed and thunder roared, stirred up by the golden tail. It was extremely dazzling. A dragon vein tail? Quick, go there. Li Haoran glared. Yes. Rumble. The flying ship quickly flew in the direction of the Great Feng Mafia family. Where is that? Li Haoran roared while glaring. It's the Great Feng Mafia family. Battalion commander, it's the Great Feng Mafia family. A subordinate immediately shouted. The dragon vein appeared? Quick, get in front of the Baxia. Li Haoran ordered coldly. Yes. The subordinates answered. Rumble. The flying ship quickly flew past and soon overtook the Baxia. Even though the Baxia ran at full speed, it could not outrun the flying ship. Roar! When the Baxia saw the flying ship overtake it, it roared in rage. Immediately, countless lightning bolts crashed into the flying ship. Boom! A lightning bolt crashed into the flying ship's ritual array. However, the ritual array was strong and managed to block it. Whoosh! The flying ship overtook the Baxia and flew to the front. At the Great Feng Mafia family at this moment, countless cultivators gradually figured out what it was and rushed over. Scram! You bunch of trash, are you seeking death? Luo Tiange roared. Although Luo Tiange was severely injured, he still had the strongest cultivation. Even without the chains, he still had his sword. The moment he drew his sword, countless sword lights shot out, killing all the cultivators that approached. Boom! When Luo Tiange drew his sword, he knocked dozens of cultivators into the air. You bunch of trash, scram! The dragon vein is mine. Anyone who fights with me over it will die. Ha 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 ha! Luo Tiange laughed maniacally. Just as Luo Tiange was feeling excited after knocking back everyone, a sharp sound rang out from the distance. Whoosh! Suddenly, a sharp piercing sound came from afar. Everyone turned their heads to look, and saw a golden arrow shooting towards them from afar. The arrow was ferocious, looking like a rainbow as it arrived in the blink of an eye. Luo Tiange showed a ferocious expression as he swung his sword. This sword strike carried all his strength. The excitement of facing the dragon vein seemed to allow Luo Tiange to bring out even more strength than he could at his peak. Break for me! Luo Tiange roared ferociously. Boom! A loud sound rang out. Luo Tiange's manifested sword exploded along with his body. His body shattered and a bloody mist filled the air. Ah! Blood splattered on the faces of the surrounding cultivators, startling them. They all looked at Luo Tiange in horror, who was pushing back everyone earlier. Luo Tiange exploded with one arrow? The largest part of Luo Tiange's body was only half of his head on the ground? Buzz! After the golden arrow exploded Luo Tiange, the remaining four stabbed into a mountain peak, leaving a small portion of the tail trembling outside. That was Luo Tiange, the East Sea Pirate King, who roamed the Thousand Island Sea for 100 years, exploded with one arrow. Everyone suddenly calmed down and turned to look in the direction of the voice with fear in their eyes. They saw a flying ship quickly flying over from the distance. A man in golden armor stood at the bow of the flying ship. He held a bow in his hand and looked coldly at the arrow that shot out. The Shenzhen Battalion? Li Haoran. Chapter 98. On the flying ship, Li Haoran destroyed the source of the chaos with one arrow. The surrounding cultivators immediately stopped. Satisfaction flashed in Li Haoran's eyes. He enjoyed the feeling of deciding the situation with one arrow. Then he revealed a faint smile. Everyone listen up. My Shunji battalion is taking over this place. Everyone move 50 kilometers away. A loud shout came from the flying ship. The countless cultivators in the surroundings felt a chill in their hearts. That was the East Sea's pirate king Luotiange. Luotiange could kill Golden Horn and Silver Horn, two strong existences of the Yuanying state. However, Luotiange could not withstand one arrow from Li Haoran. When everyone saw the golden arrow stuck in the stone wall, their hearts trembled. Roar! The gigantic dragon tail image was still struggling. However, that arrow extinguished the flames of desire in everyone's hearts. Then they quickly retreated into the distance. Roar! Behind, the Baxia roared and sped up. The Baxia did its best to rush to the dragon vein. However, Li Haoran's flying ship arrived in the blink of an eye. When the Baxia looked down, it saw lava surging up. The 3-kilometer-long dragon tail was just an image. Furthermore, there was a more solid dragon tail under the lava. There was a tortoise shell on the dragon tail. A tortoise shell seal? The Baxia did not sense the dragon vein but this tortoise shell? A Shunji battalion disciple exclaimed in shock. However, Li Haoran narrowed his eyes. It is just the dragon tail and not the dragon head? My lord, it is not the dragon head. We cannot collect it. Furthermore, this dragon tail seems to be on the verge of breaking free of the tortoise shell seal. A subordinate said worriedly, this tortoise shell has been refined. Is it an extraordinary treasure? My lord, the Baxia is charging over. Another subordinate said anxiously. Li Haoran turned his head to look at the Baxia. A cold light flashed in his eyes as he said, be it the dragon tail or the tortoise shell seal, they are both mine. Evil beast, come. As Li Haoran spoke, he raised his bow again and aimed at the distant Baxia. Roar! The Baxia glared, showing a ferocious expression as it roared at Li Haoran. Rumble! An earthquake rocked the western region of 9-5 Island. The 9th young master led his subordinates to a mountain peak and looked coldly at the center of the chaotic battle in the distance. Li Haoran versus Baxia. The battle was fierce, and for a moment muddy water soared into the sky. It was impossible to see what was going on inside. Only the roars of Li Haoran and Baxia could be heard. The 9th young master is Li Haoran. What a powerful arrow! A subordinate said with a frown. The 9th young master sneered. It's not necessarily a good thing to be self-righteous. 9th young master, should we? There's no need for that. As long as he participates in the fight for the dragon vein, he will have entered the game. Li Haoran has entered the game. The trap left behind by the pavilion master. No matter how many tricks he had up his sleeve, he would never be able to escape. Let's go. The 9th young master sneered. Yes. In a mountain forest. Montez hugged the awakened wind chimes and stared at the rumbling battlefield in the distance. The Shinji battalion's Li Haoran, you are still so tyrannical. It has been 20 years since we last met. Montez's eyes flashed with a cold light. Gu hai. Humph. Very good. Very good. To think that you can play the 29 horizontal checkerboard that old man Guanchi left behind. Furthermore, you won a go stone. Good go skills. What great luck. If you had continued, you would have been the one to die. Humph. You can run once, but how many times can you run? Montez showed a ferocious expression. When Wind Chime saw the ferocious expression on Montez's face, she gently helped Montez wipe his face. The sound of flint striking rang out. Oh no! Martial Uncle Bai roared. Hong! A loud sound rang out as the entire bunker exploded. A mushroom cloud seemed to form around the Gu residence. Countless rocks shot out in all directions, injuring many of the cultivators watching from the periphery. Ar! 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 A series of miserable cries rang out. The surrounding cultivators retreated again and again. Smoke billowed out from the bunker, raising everything to the ground. Countless cultivators goggled at this scene. Guqin and Guhan perished together with the first Song sect disciples? Perishing together? That's too ruthless, right? Countless cultivators gulped. When the dust settled, a huge crater appeared. The group of first Song sect disciples could no longer move. Most of them were already dead. Only Martial Uncle Bai, whose cultivation was higher, was not severely injured. His entire body was charred black. How can this be? How can this be? Martial Uncle Bai looked around in confusion. Was the 101st Song sect disciples that Xiao Chan brought completely wiped out? An underground tunnel. Martial Uncle, there's an underground tunnel. A severely injured first Song sect disciple pointed weakly not far away. Indeed, due to the huge explosion, an area had caved in. However, the caved-in area was an underground tunnel. An underground tunnel? An underground tunnel? Guqin and Guhan already fled? This was a trap to lure everyone into it? Nearly all the 101st Song sect disciples fell into the trap. Bastards! Come out! Guqin, Guhan! Get out here! I'm going to kill you! Martial Uncle Bai nearly went crazy. Rumble! Suddenly, a loud rumble came from the distance. Many people turned their heads to look and saw 2,000-odd soldiers galloping towards the Gu residence. Who said that they want to kill my son? Suddenly, a furious shout came from the 2,000-odd soldiers. This furious shout was like a clap of thunder. The explosion caused countless Xiozha to quiver. Everyone turned their heads to look. Rumble! The 2,000-odd horses did not slow down. All the people on the horses wore black clothes and showed ferocious expressions. Before these people arrived, they already gave off a murderous aura. The one in the lead was a black horse. Gu Hai sat on the black horse, glaring furiously as his long hair fluttered in the wind. Scar, Gao Xianji and Shang Wanhen followed behind. The 2,000-odd ferocious evil men did not stop to rest. They finally arrived at Hulao Pass and returned. Rumble! As the horses galloped, the surrounding cultivators moved aside. They all stared at Gu Hai, who was at the very front, not knowing how to express their emotions. Originally, these people were here to capture Gu Hai. However, no one dared to step forward now. They looked at Gu Hai, the innate realm cultivator at the very front. However, this innate realm cultivator gave off a feeling that he was even more horrifying and dangerous than the Yuanying state. Everyone dodged in all directions, avoiding the path of the horses. Rumble! The 2,000-odd soldiers arrived at the Gu residence in the blink of an eye. Amid loud rumbles, the 2,000-odd evil men surrounded Martial Uncle Bai and the surviving first Song sect disciples. The black-clad Martial Uncle Bai glared at the 2,000-odd evil men before him. These evil men stared at him ferociously as if they wanted to tear him to pieces. That horrifying pressure felt like mountains pressing down on him. Seated on the black horse, Gu Hai pulled on the black horse's reins. He held a whip in his hand as he coldly pointed it at Martial Uncle Bai. Were you the one who said earlier that you wanted to kill my son? Gu Hai asked in a cold tone. Shing! 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 When the snake heads fell to the ground, they gave off sizzling sounds and gave off evil scarlet aura. However, they did not turn into hair. Instead, they were snake heads that slowly withered. Whoosh! The countless surrounding cultivators immediately burst into an uproar. Martial Uncle Bai's eyes have become so evil. His long hair has turned into a red snake. It's so disgusting. What a heavy evil aura. Why did his hair turn into snake heads? There are so many snake heads. Countless cultivators watched this scene in horror. The expressions of the 2,000-odd evil men changed. Even Gu Hai showed shock. Crack! 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 The countless snake heads on Martial Uncle Bai's head twisted quickly as they bared their fangs at Gu Hai and roared. Hair turning into snake heads? Roar! Martial Uncle Bai roared and immediately charged in a certain direction. It seemed like Martial Uncle Bai wanted to use his ferocious appearance to scare away the surrounding evil men and take the opportunity to flee. Hundreds of red snakes grew on Martial Uncle Bai's head, fluttering in the wind. No, they brandished their claws and roared ferociously. However, Martial Uncle Bai was charging in the direction of Gao Xianji. Gao Xianji also felt horrified. However, she glared and said, "Don't let him escape. Release the arrows." Roar! The group of evil men roared. Bam! 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 Arrows flew out one after another. The experience of the evil men was not something that ordinary cultivators could endure. Although they were startled by the snake heads in the beginning, they quickly stabilized themselves. Kill! After the arrows, the group of evil men grabbed their weapons and charged at Martial Uncle Bai. Boom! Martial Uncle Bai was surrounded by the scarlet evil aura. His strength seemed to increase exponentially. He swung the sword in his hand, sending out manifested swords at the group of evil men ferociously. Roar! The group of evil men quickly cooperated and surrounded Martial Uncle Bai. Crack! 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 The snakes danced about as Martial Uncle Bai's white sword surged. Martial Uncle Bai was immediately surrounded, resisting with all his might. Gu Hai sat on his horse, looking coldly into the distance. "This is the first song sect's Elder Bai? I heard that he had been stuck at the second layer of the Golden Core realm. His current strength," Gu Hai said seriously. "His strength is indeed much stronger than before. Furthermore, that head of snake heads," Scar said with a frown. Gu Hai turned his head and looked coldly at Scar. Scar's expression changed. Then, he immediately shouted at his subordinates, "Kill him! Take down this demonic genius!" Rumble! Scar quickly charged into the battlefield. Shing! Suddenly, an evil man in the distance swung his sword and chopped off Martial Uncle Bai's right arm. Ah! Martial Uncle Bai screamed miserably. With his right arm chopped off, Martial Uncle Bai's strength decreased significantly. Kill! Boom! During the war between the Chun and Song sects, I helped Chan Liangyi conquer a large territory. He should still listen to you, right? Gu Hai looked at Chan Tianshan. Of course. He only managed to secure the throne in the Chun nation because of me. How dare that brat not listen to me? Chan Tianshan glared. It's good that he listens. Immediately send a message to him. Have him prepare 100 blank imperial edicts. We need them all stamped with the imperial seal. Do it quickly. Gu Hai said. 100 blank imperial edicts stamped with the imperial seal? Chan Tianshan asked, feeling confused. I want to temporarily take over the Chan nation. Use the imperial edicts to command the world. I will fill in the contents of the imperial edicts. Go quickly. Gu Hai instructed. Ah, yes. Chan Tianshan answered. Chapter 105. First Song Sect. At this moment, dark clouds covered a valley, giving the place a sinister atmosphere. A group of First Song Sect disciples in spirit-transformed form moved 100 unconscious people into a small blood pool in the valley. Then they soaked in the blood pool, revealing only their heads. After doing all this, the spirit-assimilated cultivators looked respectfully at a black-robed man. This black-robed man had dark skin and cold eyes. There was a saber scar near his left eye, looking exceptionally ferocious. Primogenitor, this is the last batch of sect disciples. The blood pool is already filled with human blood. They are already unconscious, waiting for primogenitor to transform them, a spirit-assimilated cultivator said respectfully. The black-robed man nodded and walked to the side of the blood pool. Then he slowly stepped on it. Just like that, the black-robed man stepped on the blood pool's surface as if he was standing on flat ground. Slowly, the black-robed man walked to the center of the unconscious people. Then he suddenly extended his hands. Whoosh! Suddenly, 200 thin red energy threads came out of the black-robed man's palms and charged at the unconscious people, entering their heads in an instant. Roar! The black-robed man roared. Suddenly, clumps of green light came out of the unconscious people's heads. These clumps of green light were transparent. They only showed color under the red energy threads. Whoosh! 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 The clumps of green light entered the black-robed man's mouth. In the blink of an eye, the black-robed man swallowed them all. After absorbing the clumps of green light, the black-robed man slowly forced out a drop of essence blood from his fingertip. Drip! The essence blood fell into the pool, and immediately merged with the human blood in the pool. Gurgle! Suddenly, after the human blood merged with the black-robed man's essence blood, it surged and quickly entered the unconscious people's heads. Rumble! After a while, all the human blood in the blood pool vanished. Whoosh! The black-robed man removed the red energy threads from his palms. Bring them away, the black-robed man said. Yes, the spirit-assimilated cultivators answered. Slowly, the black-robed man flew to a tall mountain at the side. There was a palace on the mountain, the first song palace. Primogenitor, a group of spirit-assimilated cultivators at the entrance of the palace greeted respectfully. Did you manage to get anything out of them? The black-robed man asked. No. They all have dragon-shaped talismans on them. We did not dare to use too much torture. That spirit-assimilated cultivator replied respectfully. The black-robed man frowned. Dragon-shaped charm? They were the personal guards of Long Wanqing's grandfather. Why were they assigned to protect Long Wanqing? Whether they are dead or crippled, Long Wanqing's grandfather will know the situation. So don't cripple them and don't let them die. Hey! However, if we don't do that, our torture will not have much effect. That spirit-assimilated cultivator said with an unsightly expression. Don't talk to me about the effects. That's your problem. I'm giving you power, not for you to complain about. The black-robed man said coldly. Yes. The spirit-assimilated cultivator said helplessly. Why is there still no news from Songpingxing's side? The black-robed man asked in a deep voice. Sect master should not have found that monk's whereabouts yet. The spirit-assimilated cultivator said with a frown. Alright, all of you can leave. I still need to refine the human soul. The black-robed man said in a deep voice. Yes, primogenitor. The group of spirit-assimilated cultivators immediately retreated. The black-robed man slowly entered the first song palace and closed the door. Then, he sat down cross-legged and revealed a cold smile. Foolish humans. Ha! Outside the first song sect, Gu Hai looked into the distance at groups of ordinary people being herded into the first song sect. My lord, this is the gold armor water crystal ritual array. It isolates the inside from the outside. There is only one entrance. What should we do? Chen Tianshan asked with a complicated expression. There is only one entrance. Are we really going in? Gao Xianji asked with a complicated expression. Not us but you. Gu Hai said seriously. Ah. Gao Xianji felt slightly stunned. There are powerful fiends in there. Going in to search for Long Wanqing will be very dangerous. Hence we need to do it without anyone knowing, Gu Hai said seriously. However, there are people checking the entrance. Can we get in? Scar asked worriedly at the side. Entering is easy. Guarding against the powerful fiends is the most dangerous. Hence, I need to lure the powerful fiends out. Gu Hai said seriously. Oh, my lord, what should we do? Chen Tianshan asked in surprise. However, Gu Hai looked at Gao Xianji as though encouraging Gao Xianji to think about it. Gao Xianji felt slightly stunned. Then, he immediately understood Gu Hai's intentions. After thinking for a while, he asked, "Milord, you want to lay a ritual array? To fight the first song sex ritual array?" Gu Hai smiled faintly and said, "That's a good idea. The 28-line pair ritual array?" Gao Xianji said after taking a deep breath. Gu Hai nodded. "That means that it requires spirit stones, a vast amount of spirit stones?" Gao Xianji's expression changed. "That's right. Spirit stones." Gu Hai nodded with certainty. "Spirit stones? There is a spirit stone mine over there. It is the first song sect's largest spirit stone industry. It is not within the gold armor water crystal ritual array," Chan Tianshan immediately said as he pointed to a spot not far away. "What are we waiting for? Let's go." Gu Hai said seriously. "Yes," everyone answered. Not far outside the gold armor water crystal ritual array was a mountain forest guarded by first song sect disciples. Gu Hai's group of 3,000 arrived silently. Then, they looked coldly at a nearby valley entrance. "Quick! Quick! These are the mortals we just captured. They are all use. Their hearts and livers must be the freshest. I want one too. Quickly give me one. Don't snatch it from me." There was a small group of people cruelly eating the newly captured Chun Nation citizens. The group of evil men showed unsightly expressions. "This is also why I want to kill the spirit-assimilated humans. They get addicted to eating human blood just like the vampires I saw in the past. They get addicted to drinking human blood. The more they drink, the more they like it. Unless they have extraordinary willpower, very few people can restrain themselves. It is the same for this group of spirit-assimilated humans. They get addicted to eating human blood. Hence we need to kill them," Shangguan Hen said with a sullen expression.